All right, all right, all right. I hope you guys are doing great. Awesome. Thanks, Janae. Okay, awesome. Well, I am attorney Takora Davis, and I am here going live. And one of the things, hello, hello, hello. I see people coming in. I'm live currently on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And I'm so excited to see you all so much. Hey, thank you for popping in. I appreciate you. I have a lot of people who are coming in. And so I wanted to do this live because a lot of people don't know, and I've been keeping it a little bit of a secret, but I have been coaching other attorneys, and I want to make sure that I'm sharing the knowledge that I have a little bit more publicly. And so I've been an attorney for the past 6 years. I built a 7-figure law firm from my closet, now upgraded to my own home office, which has been such a blessing. And I want to be able to provide greater support, greater insight to other attorneys. And so this is going to primarily be focused on that. But I'm telling you, even if you stick around and you're not an attorney, but you're a service provider, you're probably going to get some gems dropped, because when you are selling professional services, a lot of times we go through the same thing. So this is 5 places to sell your legal services when the market feels saturated. So sometimes people feel that a market is saturated because they see so many people who similarly do the same thing that they're doing, and they're congregated in a similar area. And I think because of the pandemic and what happened with that, so many attorneys and really service providers of all types had to rush the market. They had to get online. They had to hurry up and set up virtual law firms and make their teams remote. And so this really was shocking to the core of how some people did business. Whereas that all along, I have been running my firm this exact way because it was remote, very, very, very low overhead. And so we're dealing with more attorneys entering the online space. Then we're also battling with algorithms that are unstable, inconsistent, no matter the platform that you choose to be on, because they're always changing things. So whether you're building your platform on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or even YouTube, a lot of times there's not a lot that you can rely upon. And so if you only know how to market online, when things change, you're not going to be able to reach some of the clients that you really should be positioned to reach. And ultimately, it's about getting in the rooms with the right people, making sure that people see you as valuable, see you that you have a transformation to provide. And so this live and this whole training, honestly, it's really a training. It's going to show you some of those places that you can actually market your firm and position yourself to profit, but more importantly, position yourself to transform the lives of your clients. That's really, really important. So let's get into it. I did a little bit of research before we got on here. So market saturation. Market saturation, it arises when the volume of a product or service in a marketplace has been maximized. And at the point of saturation, a company can only achieve further growth through new product improvements, new service improvements, by taking existing market share from competitors or increasing overall consumer demand. And I've been able to do this successfully over the past 6 years with different launches. What happens is that, and I'll get into this in a separate live, most attorneys just try to stay top of mind. You might say, okay, I want to stay top of mind because I'm trying to produce all this content that will get me onto Instagram. But you have to not only be top of mind, you need to be top of inbox, and you need to be the top choice. And when you create that top tier content where you hit all 3 of those points, that's going to be able to help. But anyway, we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. But again, market saturation, that could be both microeconomic and macroeconomic. And from a micro perspective, it's a specific market is no longer providing new demand for the individual firm, right? And so there's like 5 different levels of market sophistication. And I've taught my students about this. But ultimately, again, we have to make sure that we're diversifying where we show up in the marketplace so that the right people who are assigned to our lives and the transformations that our law firms provide will be able to find us, right? And so if you feel like you're facing fierce competition, then this is going to be very, very helpful for you with being able to diversify how you show up and how you connect with people that can link you with other people who are in need of your services to be able to increase your income and influence along the way. And so one of the first places that you can market your services, if you feel that the market is saturated outside of social media, outside of social media is masterminds, business masterminds. Now, other law firm masterminds, that is a great place to connect, to collaborate with colleagues. But I have found, being a transactional attorney, one of the best places for me to find a new crop and a fresh crop of clientele are business masterminds. And I'm very strategic about the ones that I join. And so me paying maybe $25,000 for a mastermind has actually yielded 100,000 or 150,000 because I'm being positioned in front of the right audiences. And so now that I'm positioned in front of the right audiences, I sometimes look at those masterminds as really marketing. So we might look at Facebook ads as marketing. And of course, that certainly is. So paid ads, Google ads, email marketing. But man, nothing beats a human connection. And so if you can find a very tight, nice business mastermind, especially if you're a trademark, copyright, transactional attorney, even if you're in immigration, especially if immigration, those layers will intersect with people in business. I have found that those masterminds are a dream for me to be positioned in front of new clients. And so that's what's happening. I've been doing that for years, and that has literally catapulted my firm's prominence, my reputation, being able to connect with other people. And then I'm also able to showcase my expertise consistently because I am being connected with those people. And so they're asking me questions. So now I'm seeing in a community, whether it be a community of 20 people, community of 50, now I'm in a community of over 300. They all see me as that go-to expert in my area of expertise. And so business masterminds, whether they are local or online, they are an excellent place for you to be able to market your services. If you're willing to invest the money and also see the opportunity. A lot of people don't see the opportunity, right? Okay, so that's one thing. Next, local and regional events. And so local events and regional events are a great place to position your firm, especially if you're a lawyer who practices state-specific law, right? And so if you're able to position yourself in front of the community, whether you are at the local events, pop-ups, things like that, local and regional events are hands down amazing. Thinking of it this way, if you have conferences that are coming, trying to get on the dais to be able to speak, whether it's on a panel, whether it's a keynote, whether it's a workshop or a breakout session, man, I'm telling you, that's another great place to be able to position yourself and market your firm, because you're going to be able to build up a local connection. You're going to be able to build up local fanfare, right? And so some people just focus exclusively on being that go-to person online, but then they're leaving to the wayside all of these amazing people that you can help locally in your own community. And so being able to do that for your own community, position yourself to be able to support people, hands down, it is an amazing thing to do. I joined a local entrepreneurs accelerator, and that's been so awesome by being able to, again, showcase my expertise, show up at those quarterly meetings, be able to meet with my small group every single month. Now we're all entrepreneurs, but they know when they see me, oh, my friend needs a lawyer. They need this lawyer for this. I'm going to refer them to Attorney Davis. I'm going to refer them to Takora because I have a personal relationship. I think sometimes it's a beautiful thing being online, but you cannot discount the privilege of being able to build relationships with people. Relationships are going to open doors for you that a social media post will not. And being able to build relationships, authentic relationships with people, when you sit down with them, when you break bread, when you exchange business woes and hurdles and provide advice and things like that, that shared camaraderie and collegiality, that's also going to help you with your law firm, okay? And so looking out for local events, regional events, and this is just a little extra tip outside of my notes, but look and see what someone else in your market is currently doing. If you have someone who is dominating in your market locally, you need to see, where are they showing up at? Where are they speaking at? Who are they talking to? That type of stuff helped me so much in the beginning. I remember I literally looked at what another attorney was doing. I saw that she spoke at Wedding Wire World. She talked about trademarks and contracts. This was in 2017. She spoke like the prior year in 2016. I think it was Caroline Fox. And so I was like, let me pitch them. And I literally pitched them in January or February, right after I opened my firm. I had a website. I had never spoke with anybody else. And they were like, sure, we would love to have you. I was like, whoa, is that easy? So sometimes we think that we have to have a certain amount of accolades or prominence or, affiliations or even a type of clientele to be able to pitch ourselves for those local events or regional events. And that is just not the case. Being able to just take that leap of faith has really helped me a long way. And once I had one, other people came coming and calling for me to speak. A third place to market your legal services, if you feel that the market is saturated, is my old reliable Facebook groups. One of the ways that I was able to build a multi 6 and 7 figure law firm in the first 3 years of business was because I was in the group Brand Build and Launch by Arsha Jones. That group at the time had well over 40,000 members. It was such a rich place for entrepreneurs. And I literally Googled and I searched every single time someone mentioned trademarks, I would go and I would answer the question. Now, keep in mind, this is my first job as a lawyer. Me being the owner of this firm, I have, I did a little stint somewhere else, another story for another day, but really the first time that I was practicing law substantively, taking on clients, this was at this law firm. And so I had zero experience in trademark law, didn't even take a course in law school. I knew about intellectual property because I have a science degree, a plant physiology background. I understood patents and I was an intellectual property analyst and I did analysis of inventions and things like that, but I had no experience in trademark law. And so those Facebook groups is a beacon and a wealth of knowledge. So those ideal clients were asking questions because they needed help. And so I would write down every single question people would ask. I would go and I would search the answer. I would read the statute and I would come back and then I would answer it. And even if another attorney had answered the question, I would still find a way to add additional value. So even to this day, if people go and they search that group and they look for trademarks, they're probably going to see my name attached to an answer. And so then that began to communicate in the minds of my ideal clients who I was, how helpful I was, and that, hey, if you need something, you probably need to go and speak to them. Also, creating your own Facebook group. I have a group right now, it has over 3,800 people in it, and I was able to create that group, create an amazing community. I don't really use it as much anymore, but man, because I did scriptures, we did Bible studies, we talked about legal stuff, we talked about business, we talked about finances. I created my own community. And man, they turned into my street team. Like they were my marketing team, my street team, and they were not on payroll. So anytime somebody said something about trademarks, I had people in my Facebook group going to bat for me and advocating for me. It was a beautiful thing because, again, having multiple people tag you because someone is interested in your services, immediate brand credibility, people speaking on my behalf. I mean, the Bible even says that, let another man praise you, not your own lips. So I had people coming to bat for me, people who have never hired me, never bought anything from me, but because I created community, they were able to go and support me. And I think people think that, content is king, but I think community is king. So again, there's a shared thread here. If you're able to either create community or buy access to community, it's going to help you so much when you're building your law firm. And if you feel like the market is saturated, that's a way to beat that. It's not that you need every single client in the world. You want to have the right clients who are qualified to pay you for your services, and they can receive the transformation that you're providing. The fourth place to market your services, if you feel like to market your services, if you feel like the market is saturated, is to your existing clients. A lot of people just think, oh, they've already paid me one time, I don't need to market to them again. No, you need to consistently position yourself to provide continual value to the clients that you've already acquired. Your next best sale and the next easiest sale is to people who have already purchased from you before. And it's because they already know the transformation you provide. They're likely already satisfied with the service that you offered. And so if you can offer them something else, it's going to be amazing. I do a secret sale every single year to my clients. I do not publish it publicly because I like to preserve the integrity of my brand. And almost every single time I do it, I clear 100K. and I don't have to market, I don't have to do anything crazy. But because my clients need additional services that I'm offering to them in whatever campaign that is, I'm clearing 100K with much greater ease than if I did a public launch or public activation. And so if you are building up a book of clientele right now, you need to make it a priority to continue to be in their inbox weekly, providing additional value. Because when it comes time for you to ask for the sale, it's not a good feeling if people only hear from you when you want money from them. Make sure that you position yourself as a helper, as a servant, as a legal advocate, as legal information, so that when people think of you, they think of whatever niche or whatever service or whatever practice area you have, you are top of mind, and you continuously showing up in their inbox weekly, showing up online, and things like that, and positioning yourself in front of them. That's going to make it so much easier for you to convert people. It's going to make it so much easier for when you say, we're doing this, we're offering this, are you interested in that? They're going to be much more likely to convert and become a client because you've actually been doing the work consistently throughout the year for those reasons. And you're not just showing up because you want their money, because people don't like it and you don't like it either. Put yourself in the seat of the consumer. And when you do that, it does not feel good if the only time you hear from someone is during Black Friday. It's not a good feeling. So don't do it to your existing clients. Another great place to market your services, if you feel that the market is saturated, is podcasts. I have gotten amazing clients from one of the podcasts that I was on, called The Gold Standard, with one of my clients, Gaynette. And man, I showed up in excellence. I positioned myself. I helped the audience. I provided tips. I provided instruction. I provided strategy. And I've gotten so many clients that I was listening to this podcast. This came up. You were so amazing. I heard you. You know your stuff. That podcast episode allowed people to hear my voice, experience my unique personality. They helped them understand like my expertise. I was able to further position myself as that go-to expert because I got access to someone else's audience, right? Someone else providing you with access to their audience is a privilege. Being able to just show up and say, hey, I'm going to allow you to share space with me. I'm going to allow you to have access to this, my listeners, my viewers, my attendees. That is major. And you have to make sure when the time comes for you, if you prepare now, capitalizing on that is awesome. So it has opened up actually a whole new clientele in Bermuda for me because she's Bermudian. So I'm having so many amazing people come from outside of the country who actually need me and need my services, but because they listen to her, they're also listening to me. And so just as a recap, the 5 places that you can market, and of course, this is not an exhaustive list. I have so many more places, but I want you all to be able to take this information and be able to turn around and get some quick wins. And so the 5 places to sell your legal services when the market feels saturated are, first and foremost, masterminds. Being a part of business communities, even if you have to pay to have access to them, that is going to allow you to position yourself in front of people who probably can actually pay for your services. Generally, high ticket masterminds, whether they're 20, 30, 40, X amount of per year, you're going to be able to have access to people who are actually paying that same amount. If they can pay that amount for a mastermind, more than likely they can pay that same amount for your services. So that's the first place. Next, local and regional events. Being able to connect with community, being a part of local meetups, local startups, local networking events, especially if your services as an attorney hinges on the fact that you are state or regional specific, you want to make sure you're out in the community. I'm going to give you guys a bonus too. I'm doing a scholarship. Y'all can do a $500, $1,000, $2,000 scholarship. You don't have to set up a foundation to do that. It's a marketing expense. Think of it as such. Earmark it as such, not giving accounting advice, but literally it's a marketing expense. I'm doing a $5,000 scholarship for people who attended my high school. 1, because I want to do it, and 2, because I want people to know that my firm is doing these types of things. And so again, that's going to also be a way to market my services. And people are like, that's amazing. This is free money. Who's sharing all of those posts for me? Everybody's sharing those posts because of the $5,000 scholarship that I'm doing. You could do the same thing for your business and your law firm. If you want more people to see the amazing things that you're doing, you can do that and be able to be a great help to your community. And the more people who share about the scholarship and their understanding that is coming from my firm, it's also bringing about greater brand awareness. Okay, so local and regional events. Third, Facebook groups. Whether you create your own or you position yourself as an expert in someone else's, amazing, amazing ways for you to be able to help your community, your larger community. And so, again, I have positioned myself as an expert in multiple Facebook groups, but I realized that I was sharing so much value in the one group. I was like, what happens if this person shuts this group down? So that's why I created my own Facebook group. And so now I have this amazing Facebook group, almost 4,000 people. I can send additional people there. I share information about grants. I go live in there on occasion. But those people, because of what I've done throughout the years by being able to share so much information, when people are in need of an attorney, particularly the one that has the skill set that I do, the people in that group are like my unpaid street team. They're going and telling people about me, the services that I provide, and how helpful I am. And that in turn builds trust, and it increases my brand awareness and notoriety. Fourth, marketing to your existing clients. Again, your next best sale is going to be to someone who's already purchased from you before, especially if you did an amazing job with providing them with stellar, outstanding service. And I mean, we're going to talk more about that. About the client experience. I need to figure out which day that I'm talking about the client experience, but I'm actually talking about 6 simple ways to enhance the client experience in your law firm. I'm doing that on Thursday, and tomorrow we're going to talk about something else that I'll let you know. And so third, again, Facebook groups. Fourth, to your existing clients. And fifth, podcasts. Making sure you're getting yourself in front of really great podcasts that is going to connect you with your ideal client. That's going to be amazing. And don't be afraid to ask questions. So people ask me to do things all the time, and I'm being a little bit more selective with my yes and my commitment in this season. If it's not going to position me in front of my ideal client, then it really doesn't make sense for me to do, even if it is in my heart to do. I need to make sure that any type of time and effort that I'm putting into being on someone else's platform, that it's mutually beneficial. If it's not mutually beneficial, then it's a parasitic relationship, and I don't have time for that. All right. And so those are the 5 ways that you can market your legal services. This particularly is going to be helpful for any of you who feel like you're in a feast of famine cycle, which I'll talk about later. But man, a feast of famine cycle in business, that's just a product of dysfunction, whether it be dysfunctional systems, dysfunctional marketing, or inconsistencies throughout your entire back-end system and process. And so being able to do these things, that could get a quick cash infusion into the business, be able to, again, get more eyes on your brand. Again, doing these things have allowed me to have 100K launches, 185, 196, and to hit my revenue goals and break those famine cycles in the business. And then I had to really look and say, okay, how can I make not have the famine? What do I need to do in the business to not have the famine? Because it's a cycle. You have to watch the patterns in your business as well as consumer behavior and being able to look at the data. And so tracking where these clients come from is another key thing that you must do. And so most of my clients now come from referrals. And so that lets me know you need to have some sort of a referral program that, of course, will be compliant with the bar. So again, if you all are interested in my coaching services for attorneys, we do have a wait list. I have a lot of people who've already inquired. If you're on Instagram, you can find that wait list in my Instagram bio, and you can sign up for additional information. Or Janae is probably going to drop it in the comments on LinkedIn, Facebook, if you're streaming. So you can have a link to the waitlist. And of course, if you can't find it, just shoot me a DM and we'll make sure you get it. I'm going to take a few questions before I have to roll. I hope this was valuable. Someone says, thank you so much. Very helpful. She said, what is a launch with respect to law firm services? Well, it can be a variety of things, right? So I've had launches for, so really a marketing launch is going to be a particular campaign that's going to get you in front of a variety of people. And the goal of the launch could be to be a variety of things. So, with respect to a launch for a law firm, again, these could be quarterly, it could be every other month. It's really going to depend on you. Some people do them monthly, but you might say, I'm going to launch a lead magnet and I'm going to put marketing efforts and things like that surrounding this lead magnet so I can my increase my footprint, or get people on my email list so that I can turn around and market to them, right? And so I did one of the most successful ones that I did. It was a launch. Oh, this was cool. It was my trademark turn up. So this was in July of 2020. And so my husband and we just had this crazy idea. And I was like, it should be a celebration when people get a trademark, right? And so I ended up planning this marketing event where it was a celebration of my clients. And I had I had over 300 trademark registrations at the time. I invited all of my clients. I invited the community. I even interviewed some of my clients. We had like commercials that we pulled together to promote the firm and promote my contract shop. I gave away trademarks. And then I sold trademarks. And so I made like 185 from just doing that. Again, building community, celebrating my clients. I had a slide that listed every single person who had ever gotten a registered trademark from me. I was promoting other businesses. I invited other people to promote their business as well, right? And so that launch, really, that was my $1 million year, just doing this launch. And I had this crazy idea to do it, and I just did it, right? So you can have a launch that way. I had a launch for services at that same year when I got a 10K grant from Beyonce. And so I was like, Beyonce gave me a grant. I'm going to do this for you guys. And so I ended up doing something, and that was like 196. And so that was what I made from that particular launch. And so there's different things that you can do. And so I have something else that I'll be doing in July. So that I'll kind of bring some of my students in on the back end of that particular launch, some of my coaching clients and whatnot. But you can do launches that way. And if you're saying, well, Takora, I'm not a transactional attorney, you could do a launch. It's a community event. Maybe your launch is we're giving away toys for kids, or we're doing a book drive or a toy drive, or we're doing a business grant, or we're doing a scholarship, and you have a luncheon or a garden party. I'm thinking about doing a garden party for my clients. And so now you have this really cool place, again, building community or going out into the community and doing things like that, right? And so you can do it that way in terms of that. Let's see. You're amazing, Takora. Oh, thank you. I'm so happy to have you guys. And again, if you are interested in the wait list for our services, you can go to application.takoradavis.com. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss any cool questions. If y'all have questions, go ahead and ask. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. All right. I'm going to look one more time. Okay, awesome. Well, listen, guys, it was a pleasure. Now, tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel. Wednesday, April 5th at 11:45 a.m., I'm going to talk about the 3 things you need to try before shutting down your law firm for good. Whew, it's going to be heavy. It's going to be tight, but it's right. 3 things to try before shutting down your law firm for good. Some of my clients have come to me, my coaching clients have come to me. They're like, I'm like ready to throw in the towel. Like, this is for the birds. I'm ready to go back. And I'm like, hold on, wait. Before you do that, have you tried these things? And so if you are in a season where you're like, I don't know if this is worth it. This is really, 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 really hard. Should I actually be doing this? And really just questioning your purpose, questioning, why should you actually be continuing to have a law firm or anything like that. I'm going to share with you the 3 things you need to try before shutting down the firm for good. Okay. It's such a humbling place to be. It's really sensitive. It could even bring shame to have those feelings. And I want to unpack that with you tomorrow. So again, tuning in here, 11:45 to 12:15, the 3 things you need to try before shutting down your law firm for good. We'll also make sure that we have a post up so that you can RSVP to that to make sure that you don't miss anything and catch the replay. All right, guys. I hope you have an amazing day. Let me know if you like this. Send me a DM about what was your favorite from you. So send me a DM about what was your favorite tip that I dropped today of the 5. You have an amazing day, and I'll chat with you soon.